Alright fam, welcome to the ultimate breakdown of the ACOTAR series. Yep, all the Fey drama, cursed romances and spicy plot twists you didn't know you needed. We're kicking things off with a court of thorns and roses, where survival mode meets magical chaos and our girl Feyre gets dragged into a world of beasts, bargains and hella complicated feelings. She's 19, broke and just trying to keep her family alive when boom, one arrow turns her whole life into a fantasy fever dream. So if you're ready for the tea, the trauma, and the transformation arc of the century, let's get into it. We kick things off with Feyre Arkharan, our 19-year-old starving hunter queen, creeping silently through a freezing forest, desperately looking for food because her usual hunting spots are emptier than your Snapchat inbox. The family's pantry? Emptier still. Feyre's stomach is growling louder than Twitter beef. And failure is not an option when your entire fam is depending on your hunting skills and cannot handle another week of sad soup dinners. Feyre briefly zones out thinking about her low-key hookup Isaac Hale. Sure, their secret meetups are decent distractions, but romance? Definitely cancelled. Girl's got priorities. Her family is broke and she can't afford to catch feelings right now. Suddenly, a deer appears, ribs sticking out like a bad contour job. It's barely thriving but enough for a week of meals. Feyre draws her bow but cue sudden plot twist. A massive wolf shows up. Not your average puppy dog, but a pony-sized beast with movements smoother than your any normal wolf. Feyre quickly realizes, oh snap, that's a fairy. These Fae are deadly, but our desperate girl Feyre came prepared with exactly one ashwood arrow, basically fairy kryptonite. The wolf lunges for the deer, Feyre doesn't hesitate, shoots and boom. Perfect shot through its eye. Wolf eliminated. The deer followed few seconds later. But relief vanishes faster than your phone battery at 10%. As she skins the beast and grabs the deer, Feyre gets that nagging suspicion. This wolf kill might have seriously started some supernatural beef. If only she knows what she got herself into. Feyre drags her haul home to their cottage, sad and freezing, if not for the occasionally fire. Meet her sisters. Sweet Ellen, practically a human marshmallow/Disney princess, and Nesta, queen of resting judgment face, aggressive attitude with sass sharper than acrylic nails. Both good for nothings, zero help IRL, leaving Feyre carrying the whole family like she's in the group project from hell. Their dad? Broken-legged and more useless than Netflix's autoplay function, thanks to sketchy creditor violence. Feyre literally keeps them alive, no cap. Nesta's sass hits particularly spicy tonight, ripping into their dad with zero chill. Feyre silently absorbs this drama, remembering her confusing promise to their mom, made when Feyre was just 8, that's kept her trapped in caregiver mode ever since. It's giving trauma bonding vibes, but okay. While prepping the pelts, Feyre overhears Nesta casually mentioning Tomas Mandry, a local woodcutter's son and certified sketch alert. Feyre senses major red flags due to Tomas's violent family vibes, but Nesta isn't hearing it, ignoring warnings like she ignores basic empathy. Feyre mentally facepalms but knows this conversation will lead nowhere. Market day. Feyre, Nesta and Ellen roll into town with Feyre lugging the wolf pelt. Immediately they get cornered by a child of the blessed, a fairy groupie with hardcore cult energy, rambling about Fae worship. The sisters hit ignore faster than skipping YouTube ads and focus on securing that cash. Cue the badass mercenary lady who generously overpays for the wolf pelt. She drops wisdom about staying far away from the wall dividing humans from the fairies, warning Feyre about deep-rooted human-fae tensions from past enslavement. Feyre clutches the coin pouch tightly as her anxiety spikes higher than caffeine jitters. She can practically feel the impending doom. Later that night she seeks comfort with Isaac, but their hookup has all the emotional depth of reheated leftovers. It's a distraction, sure, but her heart isn't in it. Feyre realizes quickly that this isn't the relief she was hoping for. Drama alert. Feyre wakes up to her door literally exploding. In storms a beast, massive, golden-furred, snarling, and looking more terrifying than your credit card statement after online shopping at 3 a.m. The beast demands to know who killed the wolf. Feyre, aware Fae can sniff out lies like bloodhounds, fesses up immediately. Girl has zero poker face anyway. The beast drops a treaty bombshell. It's a life-for-life situation. But instead of insta-death, Feyre can choose to spend the rest of her life in Prythian, a fairy central. Feyre quickly agrees, switching immediately to Big Sister survival strategist mode. She warns Nesta against sketchy Maas, instructs her dad to step up, and emotionally prepares to peace out. It's giving chaotic farewell vibes, but Feyre's doing her best. Dad surprises Feyre with a low-key wholesome goodbye, telling her she's way too good for them and to never look back. Heartfelt and kinda sweet, emotional damage vibes for sure, but oddly touching. Feyre heads off, ready or not, diving straight into fairy drama she definitely didn't ask for. The journey into Prythian? Total blur. One moment she was arguing with the beast, the second she was knocked out with some Fey-grade sleep spell, and when she came to, winter was out and spring was in full bloom. Like full floral explosion. Her first thought, how in the Fey-fueled world do these people just change seasons? Do they own the weather now? She's barely processed the seasonal shift when she's led to this massive rose-draped estate that looks like someone dropped a palace in the middle of a fairy tale. Ivy crawling everywhere, sun-drenched patios, balconies popping out at random, and staircases spiraling like decorative noodles. Gorgeous but also creepy. The whole place is silent, like even the gardens on mute. Inside the breathtaking manor, the beast erupts into a bright white light, then shapeshifts into a tall, golden-haired high fae who introduces himself as Tamlin, who despite bringing her all the way to his home wanted nothing to do with her. Enter stage right. Lucian, a handsome redhead with a scarred face and one glowing golden eyeball that's less fashion statement and more don't ask. Lucian paid her no attention, like she didn't exist. Feyre clocks both of them instantly, vigilance mode activated. The Fey males explained that the wolf she killed was named Andris, one of Tamlin's sentries. Oops. She's in real trouble. Also, the fancy masks these two are rocking? Not a fashion thing. A magical blight has cursed their court, leaving them stuck with half their faces covered and their magic warped. Despite the stunning scenery and 5-star treatment, Feyre's not letting her guard down. She ditches the frilly dresses and sticks to tunics and trousers, always ready to bolt or throw hands if it comes to that. Tamlin stays pretty closed off, but he assures Feyre her family is safe and looked after, so long as she stays in Prythian. Any thoughts of leaving? Yeah, that protection vanishes. Subtle threat detected. Lucian, ever the sarcastic wingman, teases her for dodging the company of two handsome Fey. Hard to swoon when both guys are permanently masked, but sure, Lucian. Feyre doesn't bite. Eventually Tamlin opens up a bit more. The blight, this curse messing with everyone's magic and forcing the mask aesthetic, isn't just a Fey problem. If it grows, it could mess with the human world too. And yeah, Feyre's officially stressed. She's surrounded by beings stronger than anything she's known, wrapped up in a treaty she never agreed to, and the questions won't stop. What really brought Andris to her side of the wall? Why did Tamlin bring her here instead of just ending her? Even with all the magic, food and security, Feyre's heart stays heavy. She can't forget her promise to her mother. One that feels less like a duty and more like a lifelong chain. Her mom died when Feyre was 8, taken by typhus, and that memory refuses to fade. At dinner, which was the only meal she was invited to attend, she slips a knife into her clothes. Quiet, subtle. She doesn't know when or how, but if the chance to escape shows up, she's not going to miss it. Feyre figures if anyone wants her out of Prythian, it's Lucian. He hated her stay as much as she did, maybe more. So she goes to him. Lucian agrees to talk, but in true dramatic fashion takes her on a patrol through the woods. While they walk, he admits the truth. Yeah, he'd rather she wasn't here. But the treaty? Ironclad. He's stuck. Feyre presses him about the blight and Lucian starts dropping crumbs. There's a mysterious she involved, someone terrifying even to the powerful Fae. Also, plot twist, Tamlin can shapeshift. Like beast mode shapeshift. He can even turn others into animals, which is how Andris ended up as a wolf. That wasn't some wild curse, it was Tamlin's doing. Then Lucian mentions the surreal, creepy ancient creatures with all the tea. If you catch one, it'll spill any secret and would answer any question. Feyre listens closely as he explains how to trap one. A bait, a snare, and nerves of steel. But before she can ask more, Lucian freezes. Tells her not to move, not to speak, and definitely not to look. Something dark is nearby. Feyre can feel it. A voice slithers through the air, cold and taunting, whispering threats and urging her to look at it. Lucian orders her not to. He doesn't. It's the bog. A creature that becomes lethal the moment you lay eyes on it. Feyre stands still, heart thundering, every instinct telling her to run. But she doesn't. Or she couldn't. Eventually, the oppressive presence fades, the forest slowly exhaling as the bog vanishes into the shadows. Feyre still rooted in place, shaken but alive. Tamlin goes out later to hunt it, after he was informed of what dueled in the woods. Feyre waits at the window, nerves shot. Then she sees him. Her father. Standing in the garden. Her heart leaps. Has he come for her? Is this real? Is he really just few steps away? Little did she know. In Prythian, nothing is ever that simple.